Hey everyone, and welcome back. We all love a great woodworking project, but let's be real, the road to perfection is littered with mistakes. Whether you're a total beginner or you've been doing this for years, chances are you've run into these three classic fails: a bad cut, a gappy joint, and a terrible sanding job. Stick with me, and I'll show you why they happen and how to fix them like a pro. We all know that feeling when we see a cut that's just slightly off. When it comes to cutting wood, precision is key, and a miscut can really throw off your entire project. Let's look at why these mistakes happen and what to do about them. Bad measurements. This is a big one. Over time, those old trusty measuring tools can wear down, giving you inaccurate readings. So that tape measure might not be as reliable as you think. Also, sometimes we tend to eyeball things, but that can lead to some pretty wild inaccuracies, especially when working with larger pieces of wood. Forgetting the blade kerf. Every saw blade is slightly thicker than the width of the kerf. That's the groove it cuts into the wood. If you don't account for the kerf in your measurement, you could end up with a cut that's way off. It happens to the best of us. Rushing. Sometimes we get a little too comfortable and a little too cocky, and we forget to double check our measurements. But rushing can lead to big mistakes and a big waste of material. Let's talk about how to avoid miscuts. First off, always double check your measurements. No matter how experienced you are, it's crucial to verify your numbers before making any cuts. You can use a combination of a tape measure and a ruler or a caliper for added accuracy. It's a simple step, but it will save you tons of headaches down the line. Next, learn your materials. Different types of wood expand and contract at different rates depending on the humidity. So it's important to understand how your wood will react so you can adjust your measurements accordingly. Lastly, keep your tools in tip-top shape. Regular maintenance and calibration can prevent errors caused by worn-out tools. And hey, if you're enjoying this video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more woodworking wisdom. So let's say you've made a miscut. What should you do next? Well, first off, assess the damage. Determine whether the mistake is in a visible area or in a spot that can be easily hidden. If it's a small error and it's not going to affect the functionality of your piece, try to embrace it. Remember, mistakes happen to all of us, even the pros. And sometimes those imperfections add character to your work. However, if the miscut is more significant and needs to be fixed, you've got a few options. You can use a chisel to carefully remove some of the excess wood and bring the piece back to its original size. Or you can employ the handy power of wood glue. Apply some glue to the affected area, clamp it in place, and let it dry. Once it's set, you can sand the area smooth and refinish it to match the rest of your project. If your miscut is deep enough, you might need to replace the piece altogether. This can be a bit of a hassle, but it's often necessary to ensure the integrity of your final project. Just make sure to learn from the mistake and adjust your cutting technique to prevent it from happening again. Whether you choose to embrace it or fix it, remember that every mistake is an opportunity to learn and grow as a woodworker. It's all part of the journey. Now let's move on to our next big fail, the gappy joint. We've all seen it before, a beautiful wooden project with joints that are supposed to be tight and seamless, but instead have unsightly gaps. It's frustrating, it's disappointing, and it can really detract from an otherwise stunning piece of craftsmanship. But the truth is that gappy joints are incredibly common, and they happen to the best of us. So let's explore why this annoying problem occurs, and most importantly, how to fix it. There are three primary reasons why joints can become gappy. Uneven cuts. If the edges of your wood aren't perfectly square and level, the pieces won't fit together as smoothly as you'd hope, leading to those pesky gaps. Applying glue the wrong way. Using too little glue or applying it unevenly can result in weak joints that are more prone to splitting and gapping over time. Not enough pressure. Similar to using the wrong amount of glue, not clamping your pieces together firmly enough while the glue dries can also cause the joint to weaken and pull apart. These issues may seem daunting, but luckily there are some easy fixes to prevent your joints from coming apart at the seams. First, ensure your cuts are as precise as possible. Before gluing, use a hand plane or sandpaper on a sanding block to create perfectly flat and smooth edges. These tiny details make a huge difference in the final result. Next, nail the glue application. Apply a thin, even coat of wood glue to both surfaces using a brush or a spreader. Too little, and the pieces won't bond properly. Too much, and you'll end up with messy squeeze out that can be difficult to clean. Finally, clamp your pieces together firmly until the glue dries. Use a combination of bar clamps, C-clamps, and small clamps to apply even pressure across the joint. Be patient and let the glue dry according to the manufacturer's instructions. Don't rush this step. By following these simple steps, you'll create tight, secure joints that will stand the test of time. Remember, proper preparation and execution are key to success in woodworking. So take your time, follow these tips, and you'll be well on your way to creating flawless wooden masterpieces. And now it's time to tackle another common woodworking fail: uneven sanding. Achieving a perfectly smooth and polished surface can be a bit tricky, especially for beginners. But don't worry, we're here to help you avoid the pitfalls of poor sanding techniques and deliver a flawless finish every time. Skipping grits. One of the biggest mistakes you can make when sanding is skipping grits. Basically, it means going straight from a really coarse sandpaper to a super fine one without using the grits in between. This can leave your surface looking patchy and uneven because you essentially removing material too quickly and aggressively. Inconsistent pressure. Applying too much or too little pressure can also lead to an uneven sanding job. Pressing down hard in some spots and lightly in others will leave you with a surface that feels rough and inconsistent to the touch. A rough start. Sanding a surface that was already uneven or had imperfections will only compound the problems. If you try to sand a piece of wood that has warped or has deep scratches without addressing the underlying issues, you'll end up with a finish that looks anything but smooth. Now, let's dive into how to achieve a professional level of sanding. Start low, work your way up. Always begin with a low grit sandpaper like 80 or 120 and gradually work your way up to a higher grit such as 180 or 220. This approach ensures you remove material evenly and progressively, leaving a much smoother surface in the end. Go with the grain. Pay attention to the direction of the wood grain and always sand in that direction. This helps prevent ugly scratch marks and ensures your final finish looks as polished as possible. Get a sanding block. Using a sanding block like this one is essential for applying even pressure while sanding. It helps maintain a consistent feel and prevents you from accidentally pressing too hard in certain areas. Take your time. Don't rush the process. Take your time and sand slowly and steadily. If you find yourself moving too fast or pressing too hard, it is a sign you might need to switch to a lower grit sandpaper or take a break and come back to it with fresh eyes. With these tips in mind, you'll be able to tackle any sanding project with confidence. Remember, patience and consistency are your best friends when it comes to achieving a flawless finish. By understanding common woodworking fails and knowing how to fix them, you'll be well on your way to creating beautiful and functional pieces that you can be proud of. So don't be afraid to make mistakes. Embrace them, learn from them, and keep on crafting. And hey, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more woodworking adventures. Thanks for watching, everyone. Until next time, happy woodworking.